Hey, win on me, win on three, ready, 1, 2, 3. Win! Oh, yeah! Stop playing with a beat! 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 Stop playing with a beat!
Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Facebook James here in Dolphin Studios. Happy Wednesday evening. Hopefully, you're hearing me without any feedback. And so if you are listening and you don't have any feedback, just give me a thumbs up. It's good to see everyone here on this wonderful Wednesday afternoon. Man, woo, a lot to talk about, a lot to cover. The season is over, you guys. The season is over. Can you believe it? Man, it's been a wonderful, man, it just kind of sped by, literally. You know, it was a wonderful time on the field on Friday nights, the 4 games, and the one Saturday game that we had. And just watching the boys condition and practice and just get ready for this condensed season. You know, as Coach High likes to call it COVID football. So just, man, we're going to talk about that and a few other things. We have a couple of guests on our show today. And if you're new around these parts, we just want to welcome you to This Week in Pali Football. They call me Facebook James. One of the parents a few years ago gave me that particular name. And I guess because I was always posting on Facebook. And so we just stuck with it. And we've been going live on the sidelines for the past several seasons. And so we just look forward to bringing good content to everyone, just trying to enlighten everyone about the Pali football community, have more of a presence in our social media. And so if you can, go ahead and follow us on Twitter if you like to tweet. We have a Instagram account as well. And, of course, we have Facebook. And so, man, we're going to expose you to two more social media places where you can get more content. But just welcome to the show. And let me see who's in the house right now. I see Jules. Jules is in the house. Hey there, Jules Fawn. It's good to see you. Good to see you. Her son, Matt Fawn, number 55. And Terry Fawn, all right? That's the dad. Jules and Terry, they had Matt. So welcome to the show. And anybody else, just go ahead in the comments. Just tell us where you're from as we get this particular conversation started. So as I said a few moments ago, the season is over, and it was a whirlwind 4-game season. Started off rocky, but we made it through. And so I'm glad that we got through it. And so we're going to talk about some of the games. And you know what? I'm just going to bring this young man in. We can kind of go over some of these over some of these topics on my little sheet here, run of show. I don't want to talk about him by myself, but let's bring in this guy. He's always been available. Every time I ask him to hop on, can I get a little small interview, a sound bite? He's like, yes, sir, absolutely. And so, I just call this man the Energizer Bunny. Even last year, he just hype on the sidelines. And so I'm going to bring in, I'm going to bring in my friend, my good friend, Mr. Brandon Forrest. What up, Brandon?
Was good, James.
How you feeling, man?
I'm good. Been chilling. I'm running track now, so
Good, good,
kind of
good.
sore.
Hey man, don't jump too far ahead of me just yet, man. Let's go ahead and kind of recap. We know that you guys are always busy, so first of all, I just want to say thank you. Last minute, we kind of asked Brandon to hop on, and he was like, "Sure, man, anything." And so just glad that you can hop on and just kind of share some thoughts about this season. So. We'll get to Westchester in a moment, but let's just kind of talk about the season, man. Let's just start at conditioning, man, from your perspective, man. Was it everything that you thought it was going to be, just a 4-game season?
Well, to be honest, I didn't really know it was going to be. I didn't have no expectation going into this because I was so blind to what was going on, what was really happening. So it was just like, okay, going into conditioning, hopefully everybody has a little bit of fire in them to get started, get up, get ready to go, and that's really how I saw it. And it was just a day by day thing. It wasn't. I knew exactly how it was going to be. It was we had to see what new challenges we were going to find every day.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Those first few days of conditioning, I did see, I was over there on the sidelines. I was, couldn't get access to the field because of our
Yeah,
friend COVID. But just seeing some of the guys just going at it, and then I saw some of the guys just kind of they were calling Earl, man. They had the trash can and they were just bending over and just going at it. So I guess they really weren't prepared. Maybe they were prepared a little bit,
but not
but
fully.
yeah, not fully, man. And so you didn't have any real expectations going into the season. The only thing you really want to do is play football, right?
Yeah, it was my senior year, and I was like, I wanted to play. So, and I got a helmet. My mama bought me a $400 helmet for me to only play 1 year. I was like, let me just play some more. It's not that big of a deal.
Absolutely, yeah, man. No, you got to play, man. 400 bucks invested into a helmet. Um,
Yeah,
you
a
know,
lot
my,
of money.
yeah, no, it is absolutely, and for it to not be used, then as a
Exactly.
as a
Never again
parent,
after this.
I would be like, boy,
I got to pay her back in another way.
absolutely, absolutely. And so even my son, we have the Pali helmet that's been passed down for a number of years, and so
That's
even
The Riley legacy right there.
man, this has been going down. We didn't think Big Boy was gonna let the youngest son rock with it this season, but he was able to do that. So we just grateful for that. So going into the senior season, it was probably about 12 of you guys, but not all of you guys lasted. Man, just kind of maybe
Yeah.
just kind of talk about uh, what was up with that, just your mindset, as the season kind of wore on and took a place of its own, and you had guys who started but really didn't end up finishing with you guys.
So beginning, first High started talking to me about we were coming back to football. So I'm like, okay, hyped, getting ready for the season. So then, like you said, we had like 12 seniors. We had a cool bunch of us. We were ready to go and play and everything. But unfortunately, our QB Forrest Brock, he transferred to Birmingham. Now, before he transferred, he did give me a text and he did reach out and he did tell me he was like, "Hey, bro, I'm making a move. I feel like this is the best decision for himself." And I was like, "I understand that. That's how it should be. He got to keep going. He has to keep moving in life." So I was like, "I'm happy for you, bro. I'm proud of you, bro. I hope you do good things there." That was cool. So then once we started coming to practice, conditioning started happening. Some seniors, they were less motivated than others. They just started branching off the team. Some dudes got injured. Some dudes just weren't putting forth, wasn't giving 100% effort, you could say. It was just all it was just all mixed up together, and it was just. But now, like you said, we had like 7 seniors lasting. out of all of us, those seven, we formed a brotherhood, the senior brotherhood that nobody else could probably break because of the fact we're so small and we had to do it with young such a young group this year.
Yeah, let's talk about that, man. I mean, we didn't have a JV team, and so because of our good friend, we just call it the good friend, or just not even a fair weather friend. We're not even gonna call it a good friend. In those of you who just joining, we're talking about COVID. We're just gonna refer to COVID as a fair weather friend. So because of that, um, we didn't have a JV team, and so it was just one big. I guess you could call it like a super team, right? I mean, just you had a lot of
Basically,
sophomores,
yeah.
you had the juniors, and you had the seniors. Man, just kind of talk about working with the some of the young guys on the squad because you guys are seniors and you're trying to. You're trying to kill two birds with one stone. You're trying to have a senior season, but also you're trying to provide leadership for those younger guys. So, kind of talk a little bit about just working with some of the younger guys on the football team.
So going into the season, it was really like we knew me, Isaiah, Matthew King, Matthew No. We all knew it was like okay, we have a young group. We have a bunch of dudes that haven't even played a varsity game yet. So we knew it was gonna be okay. We knew we gonna have to crack down on it. We gonna have to figure out what we gonna have to say, figure out how we gonna bring this team together, how we gonna rally everybody. So, like I said, we already played with the juniors. The juniors we played with when we were sophomores. So it was really like that little chemistry that we had once was still there. So it wasn't really hard to click with them. But the sophomores, they were freshmen when we just started on varsity. That's when we started playing varsity. So when they were just coming up, I just looked at all of them because I knew them around school. They're all my friends. This is and that. I'm still cool with all of them. So like, yeah, I knew who they were, and it's just I needed a lot of them to step up. So they took forth. They understood what they had to do, and like I said, a lot of them stepped up. As in Toby stepped up. Amari stepped up playing corner for us because we had a senior corner and then he stopped playing. But Amari stepped up and filled that position and he was perfect for us. So it's just like those are just two of many guys on our team that have stepped up this season.
Absolutely, always in football, it's the next man up mentality, and so I'm sure that your leadership, along with the current juniors of the team, is going to help the sophomores on their on their with their playing days on the varsity squad. So cool. So let's go ahead and hop into just recapping some of the games, and I do have several plays that I want to show a little bit, and I have one of your runs as well. And I was hoping that Isaiah was going to hop on with us, but I'll save his play for later. So you go out first game against Venice, and first of all, I don't know who made this, who made that schedule, man. Coming out playing Venice at Venice, and all
I
the
knew it
hype.
was gonna be rough.
Yeah, no, it was rough, man. But as a spectator, I have to say you guys made a big turnaround from that first game. Of course, everyone expected high. Well, actually, no, there were really no expectations. We didn't know what to expect. At least I didn't. And Venice, you guys came out and didn't do so well, but you came out against Fairfax, who's no slouch by any means.
Oh,
Um,
actually, if y'all want to say hi, this Isaiah now. Hey, yo, Isaiah, say hi to the live stream.
What's going on, Isaiah? Hey, Isaiah, Isaiah, if you want to hop on, man. See, this is why I like live production. Isaiah, if you want to hop on, check your email, check your Pali email, if you're able to hop on, man. And
Yeah,
we'll
let me connect real quick then.
yeah,
He's
see if you
about to connect.
okay, all right, cool. So
All right, bro.
so we're
No,
talking about Venice, man. Just kind of tell us, what happened with Venice, man, from a player perspective.
that's the $1 million question. What happened with Venice? What happened with the Venice? So going into the game, like I said, it's like every other game. We was all hyped. I thought we were hyped, at least I say. And it's just I'm not gonna lie, it's like a vibe. I felt it wasn't the best like vibe for your first game. Like you feel up and pumped to win.
Sure.
But now that I think about it, for the last, and it was like kind of like a repeat in history because, like I said, the team that I've been playing with them, we haven't won our first game in the last 3 years now, I think. So it's just like it seems like a pattern. So I was like, these guys aren't like we weren't hype enough. I feel we weren't ready, and we weren't like I said. It was the first time a bunch of dudes goes out on the field and play a varsity game at that. And Venice, they've been playing together 7-on-7 games. This is and that. They've been doing all of that throughout all of COVID because we've been playing against them too. We've been doing it, but we haven't been having the whole team because of the fact we have so many players. So it's just it wasn't able to be like that. But yeah, so going into that game, we thought we was gonna do our thing. We couldn't get offense couldn't get moving. Defense was shaky. Everything wasn't going right. Coaches started what's it called? Didn't know what to do really. Nobody knew what to do.
Right. Okay, so hold on one second. This is why I love live streaming. Let me see if I can pull in Isaiah real quick. I see he's in the green room. Give me 1 second, you guys. Okay. I'm gonna try to make this happen. Okay, Isaiah, can you hear me? Let me see. Got you in guest 2. And let's see if we can bring him in really quick. This is live stream at its best right here. Hold on, you guys. All right, there we go.
Yeah.
Hey, Isaiah, say something.
How you guys doing today?
There you go. All right. Hey. All right, let me switch something real quick. Okay. Man, I'm glad you can join us, bro. And
How's it
boom.
going?
All right, there we go. Man, it's great. All right, so now we have a real squad here. So we have Isaiah Alegria and Brandon Forrest here with me, of course,
Mighty
Facebook
Mites.
James. And absolutely the Mighty Mites. Lisa Janae says, great season, proud of you. One of the former, a mom of a former player, Will Janae, who's over at the College of Idaho. And so, the one thing about the Pali community, they're always supportive, right? And so, her son played 2 years ago, but yet she's, able to come on and watch and participate in the live stream. So we appreciate the alumni and their families for supporting Pali football. So we just finished up Isaiah. Brandon was just we're going over some of the football games, and he was just talking about Venice, right? And so, your perspective, what happened during the Venice game, my man?
I mean, Venice game, I honestly felt like we just weren't there collectively. First quarter, was kind of rough. They went probably like 12 plays in a row, scored, that kind of brought down the energy for us. And then we went out 3 and out. Wasn't a good way to start. And then I just felt like we just gave up after that. Everybody was just down. Nobody was trying to feed off of energy. I mean, we didn't really have anything to bounce off of. So it was kind of like halftime. We tried to get everybody back together. But, I mean, nothing just worked. So that's what I felt like first game. And then luckily we bounced back the next week.
Yeah, no, actually, man, you boy, did you bounce back. You take a 36-0 loss, and then you bounce back to a 35-6 win against Fairfax. And, Fairfax is always one of those opponents who, they have a little something in the tank, right? I mean, they always have some athletes. They have some receivers. They have some guys over there who can really play. But you guys came back and did what you're supposed to do. Isaiah, just kind of, tell us just give us a reflection on the Fairfax game real quick.
Fairfax game, I mean, just the whole week, practice, first day, Coach Hyde gave us that talk of, what is this team really about? It was like, are you guys gonna, take another week off and slack off and take another loss, or are you gonna bounce back? And the whole week we practiced hard. Leading to the game, we went in there serious, not like the week before. We kind of took it a little mellow. Then, Brandon started it off with that Dylan scramble. Brandon, wiggling it out, turns around, catches the ball. Boom, gave us energy, defense like they did all year, stop the ball. Next drive, Brandon, like I told him before the play, I was like, all you got to do is really cut back in front of me. And, he took it to the house. What was it, like 50 yards? And
Yeah.
then from there, we just carried the energy, and that's how the rest of the game went, basically.
Absolutely, man. No, it was a great win, 35-6 to have our first home win of the season, and then the following game, on the Saturday, Brandon. First of all, how did it feel to play on the Saturday afternoon, man?
It actually felt good because, like, usually we would go to Dorsey practice, sometimes have 7-ons on the Saturday afternoon during all of quarantine. So it really wasn't that different because that's what we really were doing the whole time. We weren't really playing on the weekend. I mean, on the weekdays. That's when it started making a difference, going back and forth to Pali every weekday. But I mean, it really wasn't that big of a deal because playing football is fun. So at the end of the day, but back to the Saturday game, it was just a different energy. Like, it was the middle of the day. Everybody was more woke, you could say. Like, nobody was like, you could say, just waking up or tired because it's like the end of the day. It was like fresh energy. It was a lot of good vibes. I liked it.
Yeah, and Garfield is no slouch either. But
Yeah.
just talking with Coach and just watching, their film. I guess they also live streamed their games, and so just the week before, just watching their game against Venice, and I was just like, look, everything they were doing is student body left, student body right, and I knew if we could contain it with our defense, then we would be fine. And you guys really came out and did what you're supposed to do on the Saturday. And so, you got that 23-0 win against Garfield. And I'm sure, of course, that we celebrated the seniors. We celebrated you guys and your families on the field. And so that was a wonderful experience, just getting that win on the Saturday afternoon. And I know Coach was playing against one of his friends as well. So it kind of made it feel a little bit better. Because anytime you win against a friend, it should make you feel warm and fuzzy inside. So that was a good thing. And then last week, we get over to Westchester High School, and watching you guys warm up, I didn't see the kind of pep in the step that I normally see. What was going on with that, Brandon?
To be honest with you, I don't really know why there wasn't the same pep because the whole week we've been talking about how it's our last ride. It's the last time we gonna get to play on the field together. This is not this, this is not. So I don't know if it was the fact that it was the last week that we came out so sluggish because we were too much thinking on that, or I don't really even know.
Right.
All I know is we put it together. And like I said,
Yeah.
we train this team. We don't fold. At the end of the day, we're not gonna fold.
Absolutely. What about you, Isaiah? Yeah. What about you, man? How did you feel during the warm ups part of the game?
I mean, the energy was really low. I personally felt that we thought we were gonna, go in there and get an easy win, which we shouldn't do. And the rest of the warm ups was kind of relaxed. We missed some balls, some of the plays were off, but we just felt like it was okay. But luckily, like Brandon said, we kind of turned it around towards the end. But yeah, that's my take on the warm up.
Absolutely. But, I can, attest, once you guys started playing, and I mean, first of all, it was a low score. Well, no, even before that, talking about the low scoring game, Westchester always has some athletes, right? They might not have a large squad as evident as we saw on Friday night, but, number 3, Trevor Samuel, probably, the best runner up into the game. The 3 games prior to the Pali game, this dude had already ran 500 yards in 4 games. And so it's just like, okay. And then number 74 was a tall drink of water on the O-line, right? And, we probably would have gave him some run had Nick played in terms of the best lineman in our league, right? In our six team league, and so they always, yeah, they always have some athletes, and so they took that opening drive and they, as Steve Galuzzo said, 77 yards, 12 plays, and they were able to get that touchdown. But you guys were able to have, you guys play with some defense. And so I want to run this first clip, man. And I just called, this is when we scored the safety, right? And so I think there was a, let me just go run the play real quick and we can talk about it afterwards, okay? So here we go. I'm going to cut to the clip.
All right, here we go. 3rd and 7. Oh, man. Steve Galuzzo. That's the one who gave him the shout out. All righty, Trevor. All right. That's very close. Very close. Okay, he knocked him back. There we go. Number 2, number 11 in there. There you go.
And I didn't even really realize that it was a safety, right? I mean, because it took so long for them to throw their hands up. And I was just like, hey, what's going on? I was like, oh, we got 2 points. I'm like, okay, way to get on the board. We'll take 2 points, right? I mean, points are points.
Yeah.
Especially if, it was already, they had already scored 6. And so it was, at that point, it was 6-2. And then, we went ahead and let me turn down my music just a little bit. So just talk about that game and maybe that particular play. Were either one of you guys in on that play, on that safety?
No.
No?
We're strictly offense.
Okay.
Offensive savvies.
But you know what? Number 30, Trinity. Trinity, man, he's a gamer. Can y'all, when y'all talk about Trinity?
Trinity is a monster. Trinity is a monster. It's best to leave it at that. Trinity, he's a go-getter. If you ask him to do something, he's going to do it. You ask him to run, he's going to run. You ask him to hit, he's going to hit. Trinity is, and then outside of football, he's a good friend. He's a well put together person. I love Trinity.
Absolutely. Isaiah, you want to add anything, man?
I mean, just being around him, he gives you that good vibes, good energy all around. If you need someone to hype you up, Trinity's there for you. Like Brandon said, on and off the field, he's just that person, He's not, oh, this is one identity. No, he's really nice, really helpful. If you need help, anything, hype man, he's there for you, anything you need.
And he's coming back next year, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, all right. Me and Trinity, we're gonna have to hang out a little bit. I need to get to know Trinity, man, because he just, he seems like he has a third gear. And so I'm like, okay, this guy, he has some football acumen about him. So good for him. All right, and then the second clip I want to run, we always talk about defense and special teams. Football is 3 phases. You got the offense, defense, and special teams. And so, you guys kind of did something on this particular play. So let's go ahead and run the clip as well.
Shotgun. Takes a snap. He rolls. Incomplete pass to number 1, Brandon Forrest. Okay. So this is a 4th down. Punting team is out for the Dolphins. And let's see what Sebastian can do this time. 4th and 4. Nice snap. And he catches it. A fumble. I see the ball. The ball's on the carpet. Looks like it might Pali. Pali might have it. Yeah.
Absolutely. That was your boy, just Seabass doing his thing, and then the defense or special teams coming in and getting the ball loose. And I think after that particular play, you guys were able to get down and put some additional points on the board, correct?
Yes.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Dealing with the moon ball, 40 yards, I think. And then Josh with the 20-yard touchdown to the side.
Yeah, man. Both of those, Josh. I heard, I was talking to somebody after the game, and they called him baby, like during the course of the game because he's so small, right? He's so small, and then I think as he was running the touchdown, someone's like, "Go, baby, go," or something, So my wife was trying to relay the story to me. I was just like, okay, but the thing about him, and I didn't know that he's a freshman.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh man, that's so awesome for a freshman to go and do his thing on the varsity level. Get a touchdown. It's not too many freshmen that can say that they scored in a varsity game. So good for you guys, and you guys were able to pull it out. Tough game down the line, 16-12. The score looks ugly, but who really cares as long as you come out with that W, correct?
Exactly.
Absolutely. All righty. So I do have one of your clips. Isaiah, what would your most memorable play be during this particular season?
Well, of course, it's gonna be the Garfield game.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course. All right. So sit back and enjoy this, and then afterwards we could talk about this favorite play right here.
This is game number 3 of our 4-game season. This is game 3, and so both coaches decided it would be better to play on a Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock, and so it works. Didn't have, I'm sure, Garfield, 2nd and 5, run. Looks like Isaiah Alegria, and he's running. Man, he's still running. That's a touchdown. Look at him. I don't see any flags. No flags on the play. That's a touchdown, people.
Of course, I'm sure you have it on huddle a little bit more, from my vantage point, trying to see first of all on the opposite side of the field, and then as you ran all the way, just kind of tell us, and I think you've already, once before, kind of tell us how that play developed.
Well, it was all up front. The line you can see, perfect blocks. And then I don't know, I was still up for some reason, and then I see Xavier with the perfect crack, and I just read it, hit the side. I was like, I'm just gonna keep running until I get tackled, and honestly, I was surprised I didn't get tackled. I was tired, past the 50. Pretty sure you could see it in the film. Past the 50, I was like, you know what? I don't know. I'm just gonna keep going.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, you really didn't have a choice, man. You can't. It's not like you get stopped. I mean, you could, but I mean, Coach I would have been ticked off, right? But no, I mean, you ran. I mean, you knew what you had to do. You had to score a touchdown, and that was, I believe, that was the first play that kind of allowed us to put points on the board. I love that play. I love the call, and I'm just shocked that I'm glad that there weren't any flags on the play and that the play stood.
Too.
Absolutely. Now, Brandon,
Yes,
I do have one of your plays now. What was your favorite play during the season?
I'm not gonna lie. I think my favorite play was the last touchdown Westchester game, because it's just because of like the game moment, like the moment of the game, like what it meant. Even though it was a 1-yard touchdown, even though it was just like you saw the score, you saw what was going on. We needed a touchdown. My body was like on 100% pain during the play. I had cramps in both of my legs. It was terrible, but I was like, I gotta score. It doesn't matter. I gotta score. And then it just happened. And then after it happened, everybody was just so hyped. It was a good feeling.
Well, Brandon, I don't have that particular play. And here's the funny thing with technology, man. So, I'm recording, I'm using my iPhone 10. I'm using this little guy right here, right? As we're, I'm using this little guy, my iPhone 10. And for whatever reason, man, it would not allow me to save the game to my phone. And I was just so upset, or else I would have had that touchdown as part of the replay. But I do have a replay for you, and so let's go ahead and get you in the mix as well.
There's 9:19 left to go. I bet you that man over there eating crow right about now. Inside, that's Brendan Forrest. Yeah. Take that, Mr. Charles Davis, the referee who wanted to call 2 back-to-back 15-yard plays. We went down in 2 plays and scored on you. Take that. Yeah. That was Brandon Forrest up the middle. Brandon Forrest up the middle. Sebastian wants to sit at the table right about now and get some points as well. What we got? There you go. That's good.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I was hyped on that game, man, because the ref actually, and it wasn't 2 flags. There were 3 flags that made it 2nd and 39. So, oh man, yeah. So I was kind of hyped. 2 plays later we go down and score. So, that's the play I have for you guys. Okay, so let's finish up with you guys real quick, man. So what's next? What's next? We know, Brandon, you almost kind of let the cat out the bag, but by saying that you were playing or running track this season. But beyond track, what's up with you? What's going to happen? Are you going to continue with football? Inquiring minds want to know.
That is a very, very, very interesting question. As of right now, I do not know exactly whether I'm going to continue football or just focus on academics, but I will be attending Fresno State University for the next 4 years. I got accepted, and out of all the places, it's closest to home, so it's not too bad for me to come back every once in a while. And it's a new environment, and I love new people. So yeah,
Absolutely. Go up there and see if you can do the walk on, man. Go up there. It's a beautiful campus. It's cool. It's local.
yeah.
Both the boys went up there and took a tour, so it's a pretty nice place.
Bet. Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, Isaiah, I was coming to you, man. So I know at the end of the second half of the Westchester, you were injured. You did not play, right?
Yeah, first quarter.
Yeah. Are you okay now?
Yeah, I'm okay. It's just taking the precautionary, you know, concussion protocol, so I wasn't able to going back.
Got you. Okay. So same question, man. Are you running track this season?
Oh no. I mean, right now I'm planning on volunteering around, getting busy instead of staying home all the time.
That's awesome. Okay. And then after, is there football in your future?
Uh Actually no. After this season, it was kind of like after having a talk with the trainers, they're like, I don't think you should continue with football just to, stay safe, be healthy. But I'm also going to Fresno State too. I'm planning on majoring in physics, so you know,
Okay. All right.
more than likely dorming with Brandon, of course.
Okay, that's cool. That's what's up, man. No, Fresno's a great place. They have a Chick-fil-A nearby, so it's a cool spot, man. I'm sure you guys would really, really enjoy your new digs, man. Anything parting words that you guys want to say as seniors on the football squad? Oh, one last question. I would be remiss if I did not ask this question, and it's to both of you. And Isaiah, I'm gonna go to you first. Talk about the man, the myth, the legend that is Coach Hyde. What has Coach Hyde meant to you? These past few years, being on varsity, man.
I mean, first day it was funny because he didn't really know my name, how to say it correctly, so I kind of had a nickname going in. I was called ISIS, the ISIS attack, and he created a play off of me saying, "Oh, we're gonna attack this side." I mean, he's always been welcoming. It's always fun when he gets to know you, makes jokes, welcomes you in, and then of course once you start getting used to it, he starts bringing in everything and then ask you, your opinions to help the team out. But I mean, Coach Hyde is just really helpful. I've learned a lot of new things going into VAR, of course. But I mean, everything was also coming up from Coach Marsden. Without that, transition wouldn't have been that easy. But I mean, Coach Hyde, really, really nice guy. I'm glad I was able to have him as coach, and of course, working with him on offense. So yeah, it meant a lot.
Absolutely. All right. Same question, Brandon. Talk about the Coach Hyde factor, man.
So the first time when I got moved up sophomore year, what's it called? We was in practice and he started tripping on me first day, and I was like, "What did I do wrong?" He said I didn't know how to run a bubble. So there's a play called bubble. It's really not like that complicated. It's just like you back up and you keep going. And I guess I was doing it wrong at the time. So yeah, he was getting on me. So I got pulled up. He moved me to slot, and like that was like it was foreign to me because I never played receiver before ever. So it was just like me coming up on varsity and him wanting me to play slot. It was a big thing I had to do, and I had to learn all the routes, learn all the plays, learn how to catch a ball really in pads and everything. It was a whole process. And then he had me play that position one whole season junior year. And I'm just like, I thought I was running back, this and that. But in reality, he just prepared me for my senior year, really. I got both running back and receiver touchdowns. I got both yards in receiving and yards in rushing. So at the end of the day, I see that he helped me in a way that I don't think nobody else could have. And going on to Marsden, like Isaiah was saying, without him, I really wouldn't know all the fundamentals and all the ways of thinking on the field. Coach Brown, too. Coach Sean Brown. I can't forget about my guy. Can't forget about him. He really taught me everything I feel like I know about being a running back, a heart, the soul of a running back. So, yeah, I really want to thank them and all that. But, yeah, being with Coach Hyde for the past 2 years that I've been with him, it's been a pleasure. It's been a big pleasure.
All righty. Man, well, you guys, I appreciate you guys hopping on here. I know you guys are young men. You got, kind of bigger fish to fry. And so I just want to say it's been a pleasure, watching your progression from JV. Man, listen, I was cleaning out the garage the other day, and I found the 2017 Pali kind of ad book. And it had your pictures in there. It had all the guys who are seniors now. And I was just like looking at this thing. I was like, oh, man, I should pull this out and show it, take some pictures and put it on our social media because you guys looked really, really small. But now, I mean, it's good to see that you guys are making, the moves that you're making. You're both going to Fresno State pursuing higher education. And so, good luck to you guys, man. Continue down the right path. Be the role models to our younger guys that are on the team, and come back and talk to Facebook James, man. Because I know Brandon. I already know. I already know that you're gonna try to go and walk on over there at Fresno, man. You should. I'm encouraging you to.
I'm thinking about it. We gonna see. We gonna see. You might see me on the field.
Hey, man.
See me on Saturday. You might see me.
Hey, I would say if I were you, go for it. Nothing beats a failure but a try. And I always tell my boys, make sure you have no regrets in life, right? And so, you don't want to be, 25 years old and be like, oh man, I should have tried out for the team. No. If you can do it, then go for it right now. And if they say no, then at least you know that you tried out and you gave it your best. But live life with no regrets, man. And that goes to you and Isaiah, man. So it's been a pleasure watching you guys. And thanks for coming on, man. I really appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Always.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Yep.
All righty. So that was, let me get back to my main scene here. Man, that was Brandon Forrest and Isaiah Alegria, and they hopped on. And so, man, didn't think I was going to spend that much time with those young men, but it was good to just see them, on the field this season. And, I just wish them the very best. So real quick, I do have the interview with Coach Licea, and I do want to play that. But before I get into that, I just want to, if you're a parent, you're a supporter of Pali football, especially if you're a parent, I just want to make you aware of places where you can get more content, get more images. And so we have one of our photographers who always comes out to our football games. And so you probably see him on the field. His name is Craig Wesson, right? And so Craig Wesson has been on the field for probably about 10 years. And so he's captured a lot of images during the course of, his photography nights on the sideline. And so if you just simply go to craigwessonphotography.com, you can see some of the pictures that he is taking. Now you see right here, he's taking some professional pictures. He has his own gallery right here, Craig's Best, Rams, Panthers. And so, he's no slouch. He's an awesome photographer, right? And so if you keep scrolling, you'll see, let's see if we can go to the first gallery of Pali football. 2010, he's been on the sidelines capturing the images, capturing the game. And so if we look for the 2021 gallery, it's right over here. And so if you click on it, it'll take you to the gallery where you can probably download. And if you're interested in any of his images, all you simply have to do, I believe, is just email him, and he'll send you the image. If you just write down the name or the number of the image that you want, and he'll get that over to you. Okay, so Craig Weston Photography. And then also, several times I've kind of referenced this in my live. Max Preps. Max Preps is a wonderful website for parents and also for people who just want to know about a little bit more about high school football. And so traditionally we would have all of the stats for each of the games, and I'm sure Coach Hyde has been inundated with the past few the 4 games this season. And so we don't have any stats for this particular season. However, he may or may not upload those stats, but just know that you, as a parent, you can go in and register for an account. You can kind of see what some of the other high school football teams are doing in the area. You can go in and identify yourself as a follower of Pali football, whether it be JV or varsity, and you'll be able to see a little bit more content. I'm not too sure if Coach Marsden puts stats on Max Preps, but it's a good resource for you just to kind of look at and see what's upcoming, their schedules and standings and things of that nature. So maxpreps.com is the free website where you can go and receive a little bit more content, right? And then also the last thing that I want to just mention before we play the interview with Coach Licea, there's going to be a lot of opportunities this summer for boys because things are beginning to open up. There's a lot more opportunities for boys to kind of get coaching and attend some of these coaching camps that happen throughout up and down California and Nevada and Arizona. And so one of the events that is coming up on May 22nd, and this is a free event. This is a Riser sports combine. It's actually called Rivals, right? And so there are paid combine events, and then there are non-paid. And so this one is a free event. All you have to do is just register your son, or your son can register himself, and then just go there and participate. It's like a combine, and so they'll get coached by some of the area's finest coaches in their particular position. So if you're a linebacker, you can go and receive some coaching from a linebacking coach. Also, college scouts are there as well. And so it's a wonderful opportunity for the boys to kind of get some additional coaching in their particular position. And they can kind of put that in their mind and their training as they prepare for the next fall. So this one is coming up. It's in San Juan Capistrano, May 22nd. It's free. Now, there are some football camps that are paid. And so if you want to do a paid camp, that's fine. I know USC, UCLA, they also have combine style kind of camps. I know they've had them in the past. And so you might want to be on the lookout for these. And if I get any notification, I'll put it on social media. So parents, or even if you're a young person, if you're a guy and you want to register for some of these camps, you absolutely can. And if you got the money to, shell out and spend a week or a weekend, by all means, whatever you think is going to enhance your play on the field, definitely take advantage. I've taken my boys over to, we've been to Cal. Cal has a camp. I've been out to Azusa Pacific. We've been out to UNLV. We've been out to the University of the Redlands. And so what happens is some of these camps, they'll invite college coaches, and they'll help conduct the camp with that particular university. So, for instance, when we went to Cal, I believe Air Force was there. Fresno State was there. And so they kind of collaborate, and, you get good coaching from that particular university, and they also have other coaches who are scouting and looking for guys to recruit as well. So, think of it as a win-win situation. You're trying to get there and receive new techniques to move and position yourself to become a little bit better as a football player, but you're also getting college scouts to kind of look at you as well. And so here's one, the Riser Rivals Combine coming up May 22nd. And so it'd be cool to have a lot of the Pali guys maybe go up and participate in that particular combine. All right. So other than that, I do have one other thing that I want to get into, and that's I had an opportunity to sit down with Coach Licea, and we recorded our interview. And so we're going to play that right now, and then we'll come back and we'll close out the show. So without further ado, let's get into this particular clip. Hey everyone, what's going on? This is Facebook James here, and I have Coach Licea with me, and so we're gonna go ahead and bring him in. And let's see, here you are. There you are. Hey Coach, what's going on?
What's going on, man? First and foremost, thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
Hey, it's not a problem. It's not a problem, man. Always trying to get all the coaches in, and so because we had this, what Coach Hyde calls the COVID football season, just trying my best to get all the coaches in. So I think besides yourself, I only have to get Coach Duke on. So just welcome to the show, man. It's good to have you. Let's go ahead and get started real quick. Just tell us a little bit about yourself. We want the Pali football community to just kind of know who you are. So just give us your background.
Okay, born and raised in Los Angeles. Went to Fairfax High School. Played football down the road over there at Fairfax. Played D-line for 3 years over there on varsity with Coach Cox, and then finished up football. Went in my undergrad I did at Boise State. So hung around the team and worked out with them a lot. But yeah, that's pretty much my upbringing with football. Started off at Fairfax, did Pop Warner, Baldwin, but yeah, Fairfax High School was my upbringing.
Okay, now I think we got a little interference from the internet, so I kind of heard you mention something about Boise State. So go ahead and repeat that for us one more time.
So I started off after Fairfax. I went to Boise State for 2.5 years. My brother actually played football for Boise State, so I was around and helped out and worked out with them a lot. But yeah, that was my undergrad at Boise State, and I ended up finishing at UNLV, class of 07.
Okay. Now, did you play? Did you play football? Or you just kind of hung around some of the athletes and
I hung around. Didn't play. Once I got to that level, it's a different story up there. It's a whole nother commitment that goes into it, and timing and a lot of learning that I had to do when I got up there, leaving Los Angeles for the first time to head out of state. Yeah, it's a big change. So yeah, I was there and was able to learn on the fly, but no, didn't stick through football up there.
Well, good. Let's go ahead and talk about the culture shock, leaving, the Los Angeles area, with everything that is, and right there in the Fairfax district, Fairfax High School. I mean, has a lot of things, a lot of cultural things around Fairfax, and then you went over to Boise State in Idaho. Man, what was that cultural shift for you as you matriculated over there?
17 years old. That was my first time getting on a plane to go away to school, to leave Los Angeles. It was my first time, 17, going to Idaho at that. And this was still developing Boise, Idaho, where it wasn't the big city that's popular today, where everyone, top 5 city where everyone's moving to out of Los Angeles. But this was a city where for me, growing up in Los Angeles, you're used to diversity, you're used to it's a different environment. And in that city was everyone was open with welcome arms. But at 17 years old, coming to that place, it was the best experience I had, honestly, as far as growth and maturity in life. That was a deal breaker, not a deal breaker necessarily, but a game changer in my life.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Being 17 and just, going, traveling for the first time to Boise State, to, a place that you probably didn't know. You said you had a brother who was on the team there?
Absolutely. I didn't hear of it until he committed.
Got you. Wow, that's something. Now, is he a little? I'm sure he's a little bit older than you, right?
Yeah. Well, he's not. It's like this. He's like my brother, but we grew up since high school. We lived together. Not grew up since high school. Grew up since second grade. Sandbox. lived together in high school, lived together through college. So
Gotcha.
that's his mom's my mom's his mother. That's my brother.
So like your brother from a different mother.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, cool. So then you went there for 2.5, and then you went over to UNLV. What was going on? What was like? UNLV again. Big culture shock. You go from a small city in Boise to UNLV, where the city never sleeps. Man, what was that experience like?
Honestly, everyone wants me to tell amazing stories about UNLV. I think when I transferred from Boise State, I was just focused on academics solely. Like I took 18 units summer, 18 units fall, 18 units spring. I was literally trying to get my college undergrad done. The wonderful thing about it was close enough to Los Angeles. Well, the good and the bad, it was close enough to Los Angeles. So I always had visitors every weekend. But my mother and father would always come up. Family would always come up. I had a rule. I didn't do anything until I had company in town. So during the week, I was working, staying focused on academics, working out. I had to do an internship for my undergrad, so I was busy. But whenever family came up on the weekend, it was always a treat. And that's when I was able to take them around and show them the city. But there's so much more to Vegas than the Strip. If you actually get out there and explore it, it's a beautiful city.
Absolutely, it really is. It really is. I didn't. My first time in Vegas was actually when I first got married, and so been married for 23 years. And that was part of our second honeymoon. So we took a trip to Puerto Vallarta, right? And then, everyone had always talked about Vegas, and, as kids and, teenagers, some of my friends talking about Vegas. And so, it was a big shock when I went there for the first time, just to see the streets packed, right there on the Strip. And even now, man, when we go, it's just like a big difference from back then to now, just the 23 years. I mean, it's made a full transformation. And you're right, there are many, many things to do aside from the Strip, but of course that's the main tourist attraction, and everyone's going to be attracted to the Strip. Now let's just kind of tell us, man, how did you hop into coaching football? And you can also talk about coaching football at Pali.
I hopped into coaching football always. Since growing up, had a passion for sports. I played football, I played baseball as a two-sport athlete, did track and field as well. Basketball, I'm okay at, but going to Fairfax, you know how basketball is over there. That's a different story. Getting into football, outside of college, I always worked out. I trained. I had a summer camp that I used to run for 8 to 10 years plus, where I was able to work with former Pali players. Noah Gadushian was one of them. His brother Eli. I worked with a lot of them when they were little boys, about 12, 13, maybe 10. And I always did one-on-one trainings, just conditioning, speed skills, and it just transitioned into coaching, I always looked at coaching as my vessel to keep my hands on the youth and mentor and guide, because I was once in that position of wanting to play sports and playing sports, and then navigating life as a teenager. You get your distractions, you have girls, you got school, you got life, you got different things. And I was like, what way can I still engage with students and keep my arms around everybody and help motivate and guide and keep them on track? And coaching, that was my vessel my way to communicate and keep my hand in the pot with students, and just mentor and guide. So that's my passion for it. And then coming to Pali, I was at Pali working as a behavior therapist at first, which work one-on-one with students who with special ed who need extra assistance in class. So I started off doing that, got my teaching credential while doing that. And then coaching came up. I was always going to the games and supporting, watching games from the stands. Like, I want to be out there. I want to do this. And finally got into it, talked to Sean Brown, was a big influence in getting me started, and went out there and did it. And Pali has opened their arms to me ever since. It's been a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. Let me just ask this question, because you said you're a behaviorist. So did you use the first then prompts with some of your students?
Absolutely. 10 years of it, absolutely.
Yeah. So only reason why I say that, because I'm a preschool teacher in LAUSD, and my students are on the autism spectrum, and so I have behaviorists come in, and so those will be one of the some of the things that we would do to kind of engage the kids, especially if they kind of had a problem with transitioning, just using those first then prompts to kind of get them through the day. So I just just have a little fun at you right there. So how long have you been actually coaching at Pali?
So at Pali football, this would be year 2 officially for football. Baseball would be year 3.
Okay. Now, yeah, let's kind of talk about that because you're a two sports coach, just like Coach Marsden. When he was on the show, he talked about he talked about himself coaching softball during the same time, during the same COVID time as he's coaching football. So just kind of talk about how you have to kind of juggle your time between football and then you run over into baseball and coach.
You know what? It was tough, honestly. At first, I was, being inside for a year. You're anxious, excited to get out there and just be around people, be on the field, and just enjoy having some, interaction again. And then after a while, it was just not necessarily didn't wear me down, but just there's two different modes. It's a switch that hits going from football, then turning off football knowledge to go into baseball, which is a whole another program run differently, different energy from the kids that you get. It was draining, and it's funny because one of our players, Amari Yolis, he was a 2-star athlete as well. He was football. Then he would walk up with me after practice and go to baseball practice. So, and I'm looking at him like, you have to be tired. And I didn't even do half the running you did. And I'm mentally just switching off from doing install to going to baseball and going over situations. So, it's tough. But at the end of the day, I love it. I love it. I love it.
Now, let me ask you, what is your specialty with working with the football team? What positions did you coach? Coach the team this year.
DN. So I did not DN necessarily, but the D line. I worked with the D line specifically with Coach Garcia. It was a blessing to be underneath his tutelage. First off, I want to say the Pali defensive mind is impeccable. These guys are specialists at what they do. Coach Hyde, Coach Reed, Coach Garcia, Coach Hyde, they know what they're doing. And just to be underneath that tutelage as a young coach coming up in the game was special. I learned a ton. I was just being able to be around him and just mirror what he was doing and give a little bit of my input and some of my things that I was taught and just skill set that I was shown as a young high school player coming up.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That Pali defense for the past couple of years has really been strong. And so, after our first game debacle, it was great to see that the boys really, they really buckled down and they showed the intensity and the aggressiveness that they needed to on that defense. And so, hats off to you and working with Coach Garcia, man. What is that like? Coach Garcia's a fun dude.
He's a fun guy. We have our fun. We have our back and forth banter. We enjoy throwing ideas off of each other. You know what? Just the whole staff as a whole, everyone's open to input and feedback. There's not just we're gonna do it this way. If you see something and you can make the the team better by any means, everyone's open for ideas. So just working with him, especially, it's fun. He has a abundance of knowledge that he shares with me, and I look forward to working with him again and having a good time out there with the guys.
Absolutely. Now we know due to COVID, we only had one big team, about 50 to 60 guys, and so I would sit out there and kind of watch you guys at practice. Kind of tell us the major difference between working, with the varsity this year and working with the JV, because I know you're primarily a JV coach, but you kind of we kind of had this super team of coaches, right? The JV and the varsity coaches kind of merged. So just kind of tell us the difference between the two divisions of students that you're working with.
You know what? The division of just the game in general, honestly, the speed, the complexity, the intensity of the game, the play calling, it's a different strategy. JV, pretty much teams are going to do the same thing over and over. They're going to run 100 times. Then you have the two teams out the league that are just going to pass the ball, and we'll switch the defense for there. But just the actual planning that goes into it with strategy, with Coach Hyde, Coach Hyde, and Coach Garcia and Coach Reed, when we sit down and we watch the film and we come into practice with specific plans. And Coach Reed is amazing IQ of reading offenses and knowing when we come out in this set, he calls the play literally right beforehand. that complexity, it's different. JV, it's nowhere near it. You're right. JV, I focus on our guys is just really, tackling, knowing the specific positions, what your responsibility is, how to play safely, and then build up that confidence and aggression. So when they come to varsity, they're ready. But varsity is more so, it's more mental. It's a whole different mental ball game than JV for sure.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, I just look at JV, and I know Coach Marsden said this many times that he has many guys who've never played football for the first time, and so they're just really working on the fundamentals and trying to develop, how to put on the pads and how to put on the helmet and things of that nature. And he's you guys have been pretty successful for the past couple of years, with the JV teams, trying to teach those skills, but at the same time, giving them real experience on the football field, even though it's not the speed is not as fast as it would be if it was a varsity kid. But you guys really whip them into shape and get them ready to play at the next level. So again, man, if I had my hat on, I would tip my hat, or in a post on Sunday I said tip my helmet. I definitely tip my helmets to you, Marsden, and the other JV coaches.
Thank you.
And then tell us, man, what is it like working with the man, the myth, the legend, Coach Hyde, Coach Tim Hyde?
Coach Hyde, a wonderful man, great person to work by, man. His personality is electric. He knows how to get through to our players. Again, just his experience. It's crazy because a connection with him is that he coached at El Camino College, and guys that I played with at Fairfax in high school, they played underneath him at El Camino. So we always talk about the stories of when he was coaching them on defense, and when they won their little championship, they had a good run up there, and just being around him is amazing. He's opened his arms to me when I came on the staff. He's helped me with everything when it comes to just learning their scheme, the language that he uses, so I can take it down. So when they come up, they're familiar. So it's wonderful working alongside him. I truly appreciate actually this happening, because this has elevated my game to a whole nother level.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach Hyde is an interesting man. A lot of people, kind of, it's like, yelling at him like, no, we don't need to yell at the coach, because, I always refer to the field as an outdoor classroom. And so, yeah, he has good intentions for, he'll, teach the plays during the week and have the kids to kind of execute. But ultimately, when he sends in the play, the coach, the guys really need to kind of execute, right? And so you can only do a certain amount, right? Just like parents, you're coaching your kids, and sometimes your kids are going to make a mistake. And so, yeah, the players, when they get that adrenaline going, right? You can't always fault the coach, and I appreciate him because, he, after each play, he just like, okay, he forgets about it, and he's like ready to move on. He's ready to move on. And he's always encouraging the kids, because by me walking up and down the field, I'll see him just engage. And I'm just like, okay, he's forgotten about that play and he's ready for the next one. And so he's just an amazing man, and I appreciate him so much for working with our boys and just doing what he does on a daily basis, right?
Daily. He gives 100% every day to these kids, every day, every practice, every game. His passion is obvious when he's out there. Like, he really cares. And that's one thing I can say. That's one of many things I can say.
Absolutely. So let's, we just finished whooping up on, well, I wouldn't really call it a whooping, but we've barely finished against Westchester this past Friday, man. So just kind of give us your reflection about, playing, COVID football, right? We had 4 games. We already know what happened with Venice, but we bounced back. And like we said earlier, we bounced back against Fairfax, your alma mater. We bounced back. We played very well against Garfield.
Absolutely.
And then the defense came to play, in the very end at Westchester. So just kind of give us your view of, the 4 football games that we had, with our team.
COVID football, that's one unique thing. I tell you that, I feel like, coming back was tough for a lot of players. Not everyone was happy to be there, but more so just the physical demand. You don't realize how bad out of shape you are until you get out there. Everyone's like, yeah, we've been conditioning, we've been working out. No. When you're out there with the pads, your brain's working, your adrenaline's kicked in, that's a whole different environment. But we're fortunate, honestly, to get out of there with no illness, no major injuries, a positive season, 3-1. Technically, we're in mid-season form right now. If you look at it, we're almost halfway. So I think, if we had a few more games, we're picking up steam and starting to blend. So in that condensed season, I feel like, we showed a lot of great progress. Without having the preparation that you usually have for football. That it takes to go in.
Yeah, man. I mean, just like I said, the grit, the tenacity, the willingness to come out and, especially against Garfield, man, because, they could have backed down but no, these boys came out and, they just gave Garfield a donut. And so,
yeah.
It was, and also Fairfax, both Fairfax and Westchester, they usually have some athletes on the field. And so, we noticed, last week against Westchester, they only had about 25 guys. And so, as I said on the live stream, I said, you know what? It's going to come down to who has the most energy at the end of the game. Absolutely. I think both teams really played sloppy, right? And we all know Pali played sloppy. And so, but we came out with a win. And so that's what it was all about. The boys fought through it. And man, it was just so great seeing these guys because no one knew what to expect. Some of the guys didn't return, they didn't want to play, or they transferred out, and the boys just said, forget about it. We're going to play and do what we do, and listen to our coaches, and you guys guided them down the right path. So again, man, hats off to you guys. And, I've already shared, my sentiments with Coach Hyde and Coach Garcia, Coach Reed, Coach Marsden. They already know. I got to get Coach Hyde on here. I think that'll be fun.
The man, the myth right there. He's a fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me just ask you, we're almost done. Let me just ask you, just a few more questions, man. Did you think he needed to be tossed out of that game a couple of weeks ago against Garfield?
Not at all. Not at all. He didn't say anything. He didn't say anything that should have, that warranted that reaction from the ump. The ref. I think they just were getting it on both sides, and he just had it. But not at all. Hajduk is very respectful.
Man, no, and actually, look, man, on the replay, right? I was looking at it last week, and he was just like, "Hey, just be consistent. Call the game, be consistent, right?" And he didn't say any profanity. And in fact, the guy threw the flag probably like 5 minutes after he had already said it. I'm just like, I'm scratching my head, like, really, dude, really?
Right. Yeah, that was unnecessary, but that was a tough crew right there. That was a tough ref crew out there, to say the least.
Absolutely. No, he's always calling the game kind of rough. I'll just say that. Yeah. As we close up, man, what do you think is going to happen with the team next year? What do you think? What kind of mindset should they have in preparing for next fall? Because in July, that's when football operations again hopefully going to ramp up again. So just kind of, if some of the guys are watching, what would you say to the players who played on this team right now as they prepare for fall ball?
Growth mindset. This was a real life learning experience with these 4 games, especially to our young guys that are coming up. We had freshmen and sophomores that came out and they showed up. So going into this season, after getting your taste, just know what you can accomplish in that short amount of time. So from now until camp time starts and further, put in the work. This was one of those seasons that, we have some hope as far as the new group that's coming in and the new group that we already established. I'm looking forward to seeing the potential of all these guys. We have a lot of talent. And fortunately with this, a lot of young guys got up too. So they were able to learn and get into the system earlier than they would have usually had. So now they're a step ahead. So take advantage of this time. Go back, watch film, work out, get in shape, do the 7-on-7s, prepare and get your mind ready because it's going to be a fun season coming up. And, we have some redemption. We got to handle some unfinished business coming up.
Absolutely. And then the last question, man, we had several seniors this year, probably the fewest amount of seniors that we've had, in recent years, at least in my mind. I'm just kind of reflecting real quick. And we know some of the seniors who initially started did not finish for whatever reason. But, let's talk about the guys who stuck out, for the 4 games, like the Brandons, like the Isaiahs, like the Matthews. What can you say about that group of seniors?
Tip my hat to them, going into, not even going into, because we didn't know what was going to happen, whether there's going to be a season or not. So, me being a former athlete, understanding that mindset my senior year, what's going to happen with ball? Am I going to be able to play? Am I going to be, what's my next step am I going to take in my career? If I'm going to play at the next level, this season was important for them to get their time to play and show their skill set. And I want to tip my hat because, again, within the circle there, they showed up. I was impressed with all those seniors. I wish they could have had a full deck to play with, full 10 games and be able to really showcase their skills. But, I want to say they did an amazing job. They all worked hard. They played their butts off every game. And, I wish I could have more time. Just 5-6 more games with those guys so we can, see what happens with them. But, they're gonna be truly missed. Truly missed.
Absolutely. And then here's my absolute last question. And I think I saw somewhere in the email that you collect used, gently used or used equipment. Is that true?
Yes.
Kind of tell us about that real quick.
So I supervise a club on campus where we have a group of students and we work with the sports teams and we try and collect, we collect used equipment that if you have old bats, old helmets, old sports, whatever it is, and we donate them to underprivileged youth who need it, So, sports costs, all this stuff costs. And, especially, in underprivileged areas, it's hard to get access to these things and to even play sports because you don't have it. So the club came to me and, asked me to jump on board. And I said, for sure, I'll help. Yes, it's needed. This was my outlet. Sports saved me. This was my outlet that kept me on track and got me where I'm at today. So absolutely, I'm all for helping out. And if you guys have anything, please get in contact with me so we can make sure these kids get the stuff that they need so they can play as well.
Absolutely. And why don't you give us your contact information, maybe email or, Twitter.
Absolutely.
Just whatever you got, man. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
My email is alicea@palihigh.org. I'm not really on social media, but you can email me, please. And I would love to collect equipment. If you need some advice, you need to talk, I'm here, not just as a coach, as a teacher, but I'm here to give guidance and mentor and support all our youth and all our students. So please don't hesitate to reach out. I am accessible. See me on campus, say hello, give me a peace sign, anything, I'm here.
Absolutely. Coach Licea, I appreciate the time, man. And, let's continue to expand that growth mindset in our young people and our student athletes. And so, you have that mind of a teacher. And so, just continue, man. Just continue making a positive impact and influence on our kids because we really need it. And, collecting the equipment, I think that's an awesome responsibility. It's selfless. And so just thank you for your dedication and what you do for the Pali sports community. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. And I want to tip my hat to you. I just wanted to give you your flowers as well. You did an amazing job with your boys. Your boys, role model father, when it's my time to have my boys and my kids, my kids, I will hope, to have the same experience, man. So you keep doing what you're doing, sir. And thank you for being a positive role model out there as well. Thank you.
Appreciate it, my man. Appreciate it. Well, there you have it. That was Coach Licea on Facebook, James. And so we thank you guys for watching, tuning in, being a part of the conversation. Tune in next week. I'm not too sure who we'll have on our show, but I'm
Coach
sure.
Hyduke.
Man, we're gonna really try to get Coach Hyduke, and I'm gonna reach out to him on Facebook and see if we can make that happen. But yeah. So thank you guys for watching, and man, good night.
Good night. Thank you, guys.
So there you have it. Had a wonderful conversation with Coach Licea, and so I'm going to definitely try to reach out to Coach Hyduke. Coach Hyduke, if you're watching, man, we need to connect. And so I'm going to reach out to you on Messenger and see if we can get you on here next week. Well, you know, guys, it's been a little bit over an hour. I've been going strong, probably about an hour and 20 minutes. And so thank you, those of you who stood through and watched, listened to the boys, Brandon Forrest and Isaiah Alegria, and then also watched the recorded content with Coach Licea. I didn't want to not show his video especially after we had already publicized that we were going to, air his interview, and just having Isaiah and Brandon was kind of like the icing on the cake. And so, again, we just thank those young men for hopping on tonight and being a part of our live stream. And so for those of you who are still watching, really appreciate, and here's, let me just share this one nugget and then we're done. Going back to talking about Craig Wesson and just his photography skills, man, this dude is awesome. So here, let me just share this screen really quick. Look at this right here. Let me move myself out the way. Oh my goodness. He is, wow. His stuff right here. Awesome. Awesome. I can't move myself. Okay, it won't let me move myself, but look, he has a wonderful photos, and you guys got to go check him out. And so, yeah, if you just scroll through the gallery, you'll see all kind of goodness that he has on his website. And so these are from last week, I believe, at Westchester. The bright red just kind of pops off, right? So check out Craig Wesson. He has some wonderful stuff. And I'm sure if you hit him up on an email, he'll be more than happy to share those images with you, especially if you're a family member. Well, that's it for tonight. That's all I have. Thank you guys for watching. And we'll come back next week. And like I said, we'll try to reach out to Coach Hyduke, see if he can come on and hop on for a couple of minutes, and maybe one of the other players as well, right? So you guys continue to be safe. And until the next video, take care. And as always, go Pali.
Hey, win on me, win on three, ready, 1, 2, 3. Win!
Oh, yeah.
Stop playing with a P! Stop playing with a P! Stop playing with a P! Stop playing with a P!